The myth is that it takes years and years to heal from trauma and PTSD. The fact is that healing from trauma can happen in a matter of weeks. I'm Dr. Tracy Thomas, and I'm an expert on helping people eliminate emotional issues, emotional disorders, and get out of a lifetime of working on these issues in therapy. Now, what we really see here is that people believe that healing from trauma requires hours and hours and different modalities, and basically committing your life to fixing this issue. When the reality is that trauma is an emotional response that created a physiological response, and that emotional response that quickly becomes a physiological response and puts people into fight, flight, or freeze mode and constant protection mode in their life and feeling unsafe. The myth is that that needs to take a long time to go away. But the truth is that you can recondition a set of emotional responses through emotional strength training. Now, this is amazing because people think you have to spend all kinds of time understanding every detail of traumatic events, childhood events, very serious types of very traumatic types of events in people's lives, and you have to go into every ounce of the story and the detail, and you have to chew on it, and you have to relive it, and that the best you can hope for is to be able to live with it in a better way. Now, this is crazy because while we see the stats driving up for how long people suffer with trauma and how long it takes them to get anywhere close to feeling halfway decent, the truth is that our clients are able to eliminate these traumatic emotional patterns in just a matter of weeks by conditioning new emotional, strong patterns that make them feel powerful and able to go on with their life and focus on their real purpose and their real priorities. So just to give you an example, my client Stephanie is this amazing, amazing woman. She had been through a rape trauma, and she had been through every kind of treatment, every kind of rehab, because of course we know that trauma and addiction go hand in hand because the pain is so great. And Stephanie thought she was going to spend her entire life in this constant trauma response, reliving these issues, reliving the shame. And through our work together, Stephanie has completely reset herself with an entirely new emotional capacity, with a strong emotional foundation and an entirely new set of emotional patterns and emotional automated responses, so that when anything's happening in life, she's actually automated to feel a positive response rather than one of these fight, flight, freeze protective responses. And that training is something that helps Stephanie be set free from ever needing again to identify with the concept of having trauma or PTSD or being stuck in a cycle of working on trauma recovery for the rest of her life. She's got all kinds of time now. She's having fun. She's living life. She's doing everything she wants, and she feels safe all the time. I know that may be hard to believe, but when you go from a set of emotional patterns that makes you feel unsafe all the time, the opposite is true. When you change those emotional patterns, you can actually feel safe all of the time as well. Now, this creates a feeling of security, openness, expansiveness, willingness to try new things, and the feeling like you can never be injured again because you're absolutely powerful and you're in a new way of navigating through the world. And so Stephanie no longer feels like she's, potentially going to be attacked by someone. She feels like she's such a strong person that she would never, ever get herself in any scenario where that could even be a threat to her. Now, this is really, really exciting because Stephanie is one of the smartest people I've ever met. And Stephanie is up to big things, and she is here to live a very serious purpose of helping people. She has this amazing passion for helping teenagers, helping children, and helping parents create emotionally empowered kids from the start of their life on. Now, of course, you know that I love this, and I'm so excited that Stephanie can now sink her teeth into her real purpose and her real priorities in life instead of spending her time in the therapy room getting nowhere. Okay, so if any of you have struggled with trauma, PTSD, or any similar issues where you've been led to believe that this is going to take forever, that you must devote yourself to a life of therapy, a life of exploring these difficulties and pain. If you've been taught to believe that, and you've been doing that, and you haven't been getting the results that you want, or maybe you've been getting a little bit of results, but it feels like a real drag to think that this is just going to go 1 hour a week, you're going to spend years and years on this, you're going to stay in this story, and instead of thinking about all kinds of fun things in life, you're thinking about this instead and reliving it over and over every week. If that's not appealing to you, and you would like to completely rewire your emotional capacity to be the highest it can possibly be, so you can focus on what you really want to focus on, then we should talk. Now, the way you're going to get a hold of me is you're just going to go to drtracyinc.com/apply. That's drtracyinc.com/apply. I look forward to hearing from you, and I can't wait to set you free.